Welcome, everybody, again to the Wholesaling Inc. podcast, the world's #1 podcast when it comes to wholesaling real estate. Remember, wholesaling real estate is all about the art of finding discounted properties. Yep. And with me, I have my neighbor with me today. This is so exciting because usually I'm doing interviews from people around the country and it's through Skype, but you're in the office, you live the next building over.
Literally right over,
I want to introduce everybody on the podcast and on the YouTube channel to Alex Sainz.
Awesome. Signs. Alex Signs, like dollar signs. I like saying that.
Yeah.
But pleasure to be here. And it's pretty crazy how so many people in Phoenix are just crushing it. And we're all literally right next to each other.
Right here.
Yeah.
And, it's really interesting because a lot of people that I talk to around the country, they're like, how is there so many people in the same market? I mean, we've got Dean Graziosi, we've got the Clever Investor, we've got Carlos and Sal, we've got you, we've got me, we've got Sean Terry, we've got Rich Dad, we got Robert Kiyosaki here, right?
Yeah, the OG legend.
Right.
Yeah, it's crazy to think about it. But that just shows how much abundance and deals there is out there. Yeah.
So you've got a pretty incredible story. I mean, you came right out of the chute, like right out of high school, getting into the real estate business, right?
Yeah. I was 18, graduated high school. I was 18 and a half at the time. And it's funny because Jalen White, you know Jalen, and a lot of you know Jalen. He closed the deal 2 days before graduation, and he says, "Hey, look at my bank account."
High school graduation.
High school graduation.
So what does that do to a high schooler's mind when you see
it? It just what it did. It just showed me like that it was possible. So I've never been the guy to look at someone and say I'm better than you, but I've always been the guy to say I'm just as good as you.
Sure.
So when I saw that, I saw the real life proof. That's all I needed.
So how much was in his account?
It was $13,000.
$13,000.
Yeah, and
high school.
I'm looking at mine -300, and
If I would have saw
13 grand in high school,
18 years old, I would have thought that was $1 million.
Oh yeah, it felt like it.
Do anything,
yeah,
right?
it sure felt like it. But yeah, that gave me the boost because I didn't know what I wanted to do. So during high school, I worked my ass off to get good grades, of course.
Yeah.
So I graduated with a 4.2, so I had options on where I could go.
Yeah.
But there was no job or career that really, that I had passion for.
Yeah.
So when I saw wholesaling, I saw real estate. My dad's a contractor, so I, as a kid, I saw, houses being built. So that kind of fascinated me. And what fascinated me was the end product. So it was just a perfect, avenue to go into, especially being broke, because wholesaling. I mean, you can literally it's like an ATM machine.
It is.
I mean, a slot machine.
Yeah.
ATM, and an ATM machine.
It's a cash machine. It is. I say that all the time. It's like hitting the lottery. It really is.
Every single time. So, I mean, after I knew about the concept, it took me 8 long months to get my first deal. But I got my first deal January 2016, and after that it was just smooth.
So you're in high school, you're getting good grades because you want to go to college?
Yeah.
And then you're looking around and
I want to be an engineer at first.
What do I want to do? Okay,
Yeah.
I want to be in some sort of engineer, right?
Yeah.
And then you're like, well, what kind of engineering? What do I want to do? Like, how does this, where's my passion towards this? And then Jalen's like, hey, look at what I did, right? And you're like, oh my God.
Like, this is real.
Oh,
and especially, because for those out there, you're probably looking at us like, are these guys legit? Are they doing deals? Like, is what they're saying true? And I had all those thoughts come to my mind, but when I saw someone I really knew, that I grew up with, it affirmed that this business is real.
Well, that's the whole thing of it being a belief in your mind to it being an actual fact.
Yeah, you want to give yourself every reason not to do it, but when I have one of my best friends that I grew up with show me, there's no reason why I can't do it. So.
Well, I got it shown to me from looking at a closing statement, selling it to a cash buyer, and at the bottom of it, right, I made a 3% commission. At the bottom of it was $40,000.
An assignment?
What was called an assignment fee.
What the heck is this?
And I was like, what is this? I was like, how... Are you not buying this house? What? I mean, you're not even on the closing anymore. And he's like, no, I sold it. And I was like, how do you sell a house you don't own? He's like, no, I sold the contract. And I was like,
it just didn't make sense.
What is that? No, I mean, it took me 3 times, $92,000 worth of assignment fees from 3 deals the first 3 deals that I sourced.
Wow.
Yeah, and then I figured it out.
Well, I mean, but look where you are now.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's been a humbling journey.
So why did it take? So speak to the audience out there that's never done a deal, and they're looking at that 8 months like it's 8 years, right?
Oh, it sure feels like it,
right?
yeah.
So what were you doing, and what do you think people should be doing to maybe shorten that timeline?
Oh, it's I've actually been asked this quite a bit, and it's actually, so what I was doing everything wrong. I thought that I could do everything myself. And what really, if I were to do it all over again, I would have either hired a mentor or tried to work with someone that already knew the business. So for me, it was just my ego, like, oh, I can do this myself. And I was doing all the wrong marketing. I was doing bandit signs. I put out probably 2,000 bandit signs during that 8 months, all on credit cards, and which I ended up paying later. But
yeah, sure.
And I didn't get a deal off bandit signs. And then I door knocked, but I was door knocking a old pre-foreclosure list. So it was a dead list.
Yeah.
So I was doing all the wrong things, and what really like skyrocketed me was being around people that knew what they were doing.
Yeah. So you go from bandit signs to door knocking to, and then is this when you met Carlos and Sal?
No, I met him.
You're still working with Jalen?
So funny story. So when Jalen closed his deal, he left for like 3 months to Poland. So here I am, like wanting to do real estate, but I don't know who to talk to. All I did, I just went on YouTube University.
That's it.
And watched every Ron LeGrand
People
video.
are watching this now.
I just went on YouTube, and but what happened with me? So I went through every video, maybe like some of you are doing, and I got so overwhelmed because there's just like, there's no structured lessons. So it's like you're watching this and it jumps to this, so you don't really put A through Z in order. So that really overwhelmed me.
Got it. Yeah, I totally get it. It is, well, and it depends, right? There's some people that want to do marketing. There's some people that want to do, direct mail, and they want to do bandit signs, and they want to do pay-per-click. Maybe they're wizards on the internet and they want to do pay-per-click, right? Or SEO or whatever. And, build up their business that way or build up their pipeline. And then there's crazy people like you and I who do a lot of cold calling. A lot of cold calling in our business. We like going straight to the
proactive versus reactive.
Talk to me about it.
So here's a progression. So I was doing signs. I actually got my first deal driving for dollars.
Nice.
And it was God sent. The way it happened was just so. I just knew God had His hand during that deal. But what really scaled me up was. So I had a thought to myself, and I said, okay, can I make $1 million off bandit signs? The answer is yes, right? You could. Okay. But how many signs do I need?
It's a lot
to make $1 million. Okay, and then I said direct mail, and gosh, that's it gets really expensive. I didn't have that money, so the next answer, the logical answer was cold calling. Because you can easily duplicate it, and and there's no limit to how many people you can contact and calls. So.
Right. Yeah, that's the whole point. Starting out, I just didn't have any budget, and until you are building up. And I honestly think, and as you start building a business that's over $1 million, and we'll get to that soon here, but as you're building that business, there is a point of diminishing returns when it comes to a lot of traditional marketing methods.
True.
Especially like something like direct mail or even pay-per-click in some markets, depending. Some markets are better than others. But, with cold calling or being proactive, you always have the opportunity to reach out to the most distressed homeowners, because that really is the key. The number one thing, if there's a tippity top of the start of the funnel, it is you got to get a list of distressed properties. I don't care if it's driving for dollars, which is the easiest one. You can use the Deal Machine app, TTP code, there you go. Or, as you keep going down, you can get tax default, pre-foreclosures like you were doing. You could do divorce, code violations. There's so many different lists, but it starts with that list.
Yeah, and what I love about cold calling is there's so many different variables that work in your favor. As far as, no one's going to. And if me and you have the same list, right?
Yeah.
We're gonna get different deals. We might run across similar leads, right? But timing goes into place. I might call at a time, I might call it 12, you might call it 3. They might answer me, they might not answer you.
Yep.
Different, tonality. So that, they might be very receptive to my voice. Maybe they're not receptive to yours.
Yep.
Maybe I get a Spanish speaker. Like you just, there's so many things that work in your favor, which I love about cold calling. That's why I'm not afraid of Phoenix, because although you're here and all these other wonderful investors are, I know that with timing and just consistency with cold calling, we're gonna get deals, because just all those variables go into play.
So who do you have making your calls, and how many calls do you typically get?
Well,
first of all, what markets are you in?
Phoenix, Tucson, Vegas.
Okay, 3 markets. And you are, with the calls that you make, who makes those calls, and about how many hours a week are they calling? Does that make sense?
Yeah, so
that's what I look at it.
Yeah, so I have 5 callers at 40 hours a week, and then I have 10 callers at 30 hours a week.
Woo! How many hours is that?
How
many hours?
It's crazy.
That's okay. So 10 at 20 hours a week. So
30, 10 at 30.
10 at 30, 300 hours.
Yeah, 300, and then 5 at 40.
Got it. So you get 500 hours of calls a week.
A week, yeah.
You can't lose.
You can't.
You can't lose.
I mean, it's just one. Lead after the other.
So, what do you typically? Do you pay them hourly, or are they commission based? What's
It's hourly.
It is hourly. Yeah. We've always found that's how you keep them.
So a funny story. I used to pay, I think it was $7 or $8, and then $500 per deal commission.
Yeah.
And I gave a VA a $500 bonus.
You never see him again.
Yeah. He left. Probably got.
That's it.
He got his mansion in the Philippines.
Yeah,
it's crazy. But yeah, he left. So I learned not to do like huge incentives.
It's a really interesting point for everybody out there. And so, are you hooked in with the Call Geeks? No, what are you using for?
I have those 5 callers, the 40 are with the Call Geeks.
Okay, got it. And then where's your other 10?
Philippines. I do have Filipino callers.
Got it.
There's
awesome.
One from El Salvador.
Awesome. Yeah. Great. And then they're just, I think the toughest part is just keeping them fed with good, new, fresh lists, right?
Yeah, very fresh lists. And I do have a full-time quality control. I pay her $1,200 a month.
Yeah.
And all she does is track numbers and monitors and grades calls.
And what are your callers getting paid?
They range $5 to $8.
$5 to $8 an hour.
Yeah,
awesome.
$8 for obviously the better ones.
Yeah. More experienced, or is it? Do you base that off of their success rate?
No, it's honestly a lot of it's tonality. Yeah, being obviously accent has a huge effect on that.
Yeah. So then once you get all of these leads, because I've got 7 callers myself. I've got all these leads coming in. How do you filter it? How do you get to the ones that are actually going to do business with you?
So our process, they all get submitted in Podio.
Yep.
They all get comped.
Okay.
And then they get pushed out. I have 4 acquisition managers. Acquisition managers.
Got it.
There's, if I were to say out of 10 leads, we're getting 7, 8 good ones. The other ones are they're either trolling or they're just not interested.
Yeah. And real quick, how old are you?
22.
22. Alex Signs, dollar signs. Get it right. 22 years old, man.
22. I just turned 22.
So how did you finish out 2018?
18.
Do you remember do you know what you actually brought in?
Gross was $1,050,000.
Woo!
Yeah. Cracked that 7 figures.
We got this is the victory bell, baby. $1,050,000. That is incredible.
50,000.
50,000.
Yeah. How do you even say that? Because you can't say 1.5.
Yeah. $1,050,000. And how much of that came from proactive? Because you're a smart guy. You've got different marketing channels. What other marketing channels worked for you besides cold calling?
Last year or this year?
No, last year.
Last year, our VMs were good, but I didn't really crack that until late year.
Yep.
But 75% of our wholesale deals were cold calling.
Yeah.
So that's our strong core.
Yeah. That's incredible. And you use what are the resources that you use in the Philippines, or did you just find them on Upwork?
I have So like 2 years ago, Jalen hired a VA, and then he did
kinda
so
grew
well.
and
Yeah,
grew.
it grew out,
Yeah.
grew out. So he created his own agency. So
Yeah.
we have that.
Cool. What's it called?
but,
Tell everybody out there, and they can.
I don't know what it's called,
Okay.
but I know the guy's name,
Well,
Raymundo. That's all I know.
Raymunda. Call Motivated Sellers is an awesome company as well. That's who I use. Phenomenal. CallMotivatedSellers.com. Really great. What does 2019 look like?
It's.
I mean, by the way, guys, he's got a supercar. He's got it all chromed out, beautiful blue. I showed it to my wife the other day. She's like, "Oh, that's really a beautiful."
Yeah, I saw you
color."
driving.
Like,
I saw you driving. Yeah.
You're living the life. I mean, you're a single guy, right?
No, I have a girlfriend.
Okay.
Yeah.
But you live here. You're
Yeah.
22. You're doing really well. You work in the same office as Sal and Carlos, right?
Yeah, Sal and Carlos.
And you guys have a phenomenal event, and I suggest this to anybody. Like, listen, guys, if you are in that next level, if you want to take it from doing a few deals a month to like really pushing it up, these guys really open it up. And Sal and Carlos are good friends. They're phenomenal guys.
Yeah.
They're very flashy. You'll love them. Just look them up. Carlos Reyes is probably who you want to look at. And Alex Saenz, obviously. And then they have a fantastic event coming up
22nd and 23rd of this month.
of February.
3 weeks from now, yeah.
And you guys, they're barely. I mean, it's like sliver thin. If you can get in there, it's like getting gobbled up every single day. Where can they find that?
Allinflipping.com.
Like all in, like poker.
All in. Allinflipping.com. This is our third event, and the last two were just amazing. I mean, we had people come from all over the country.
I know it.
And go back, implement, and hit six figures.
I have some great TTP students that went and said it was just a phenomenal time.
Yeah, it's. I mean, think of it like Harvard Wholesaling University.
Got it.
It's like the top, just intensive and just a blueprint on how we run our businesses.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, how's this? What's the goal for this year?
2.5.
2.5 million.
2.5.
And which market's the best for you right now?
Phoenix.
Phoenix?
Yeah.
And then you're in Vegas and Tucson.
Yeah, Vegas, Tucson.
Yeah.
We just got to do it yesterday in San Diego, so I know Billy's
Nice.
out there, so I might.
Yeah. Yeah, awesome.
Yeah, I'll let you know about that.
My disposition manager lives in San Diego. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, anything else, anywhere? How do they find you? They find you on Instagram?
Yeah, Instagram, Alex Saenz, at Alex Saenz.
Spell your last name.
Saenz.
Yeah.
I also have a YouTube channel, not as good as yours.
No, go
just
for it.
Alex Saenz. You'll find me on there.
Awesome.
So, yeah.
Awesome. Yeah. And everybody, it's just phenomenal. I mean, definitely give us some comments here. He's going to see him. I'd love to, chat with him afterwards and go through some of the comments that you guys gave. If it just comes to me, love to check that out. As always, you guys are the best. If you're listening to this on the podcast, make sure if you want to join the number one program for learning how to be proactive in this business, you got to join the TTP program. That's at wholesalinginc.com/TTP. I would mentor you personally if you join. So would love that. Until next time, guys. Love